Ecclesiastical Law YouTube playlist. Skip to the blue one. //YouTube/playlist != PL-MCA 7K87F-VDFH NOTR 01H6NO RM2AX Dove. These words are the position of the Roman cult of Moloch worshipping Talmud rabbi, the Venetian noble asses, the Knights of Malta, European nobility, from their purge of being the controllers of us, we allegedly being slaves. They have done a great job of hiding the ecclesiastical nature of the courts, but every one of them is dedicated toward honoring the rule of law of canon law. My goal in court, for the magistrate to give me my remedy, once I prove that I'm a living person, and that I'm not dead, since I failed to contact the court after age 7, give them notice that I'm actually living flesh and that my blood flows. When a judge first enters a chamber, he's representing laws of the Bar Society. We often think bar means British accredited registry, but it's actually a secret magical title that empowers them to issue judgment, which is literally to curse you or sentence you to jail or to death. Bar is a magician magic spell, and in Hebrew means son of or lord of, and the judge is putting magical curses upon you from their position of honor, that they will fight to keep, and are scared that curses will come back upon them, so will issue dead as the target for the curse to hit, like a jet fighter in a dogfight drops flares for the middle to hit. More in these videos. When entering any court, my sovereignty with God is the third and last thing you would ever use, and only if the judge leaves and returns into federal court the third time. That's rare, people. In the meantime, this is how you start. In the first instance of entering the court, you must establish your standing under the laws of Alderon. This means you're a sailor, and the judge magistrate must provide you remedy, or he is continually in dishonor. If he leaves and returns a second time, trying to get out of dishonor, like he's starting fresh, his return turns the court into an admiralty law court. That's when he must give you, and you must only ask for maximum cure until my full health is recovered. Let's take IT from the top. If a judge doesn't want to provide you remedy, the judge can run from the bar court and leave the chamber. They do this in these rare cases, where they find that when they find out you know what's up, this is a magic trick, because when he, the magician judge, returns, he doesn't return to a court based on the laws of the previously known bar society you were standing in. He returns now, living by these secret magic rules of the Knights of Malta, pulling the Mayock trick, and changing the form of the court into a full admiralty court, without any notice to you whatsoever. Yes, seriously, that is what is happening. So you must pay attention to how many times he runs out. This isn't a joke to them, or a little battle of your knowledge. He is changing protocols on you, and hoping to get you to slip up. Yes, he is doing you harm, and he is trespassing against you when he comes back each time. He has re-established his standing, and it is a completely different court now in their IAMD canon rules. They are trying to trick you into not re-establishing your standing. So you must re-establish your standing. And listen, unless you re-establish your standing, it is as if you no longer have any standing. It's a brand new court. What you ask for, the second time the judge enters, has to change as well. Because if you ask for the wrong thing, they won't give it to you. Under the previous and first visit to the court, you were under the Bar Society, and what you want to ask for was remedy. But under the second form of court, when he re-enters on the second time, it's gone to pure admiralty court, or maritime court of the East. If you don't re-establish standing, they will treat you as salvage under the rules of Alderon. They are all fictional, but these are the laws that the nations use for commerce. So if you're salvage, you're still dead as far as they are concerned. If you re-establish your standing the second time, what you must do when the judge returns, what are you asked for is cure and maintenance, not remedy, because cure and maintenance is a form of remedy in this court. Under admiralty law, the rules of Alderon are the base for it all. So good to get back to the source document. Salvage is salvage. There is no live salvage in maritime law. They just gonna put you in a holding building. That's why they'll put you in prison, just like a piece of cargo. But if you establish yourself as living under the laws of Alderon, that means you're a sailor on the ship of state, and they must provide you maximum cure and maintenance until my full health is restored. So it's actually a stronger remedy than if the judge had not already run out and then return. What the judge is trying to do is reestablish superior jurisdiction by treating the defendant into not reestablishing their standing. Unfortunately, this leaving and returning happens 90% of the time, and the man or the woman learns the hard way the art of reestablishing their standing. But when the judge leaves, he's coming back and reestablishing his honor, so he can perform magic curses against you. Do no harm, do not trespass, and it's a totally different court. It's now purely admiralty court, functioning in maritime court. And now if you don't reestablish standing and ask for the correct remedy for admiralty law, they will not give it to you, and they can do it once more too. So watch for them to leave a third time. If you're in federal court, they can leave the third and final time. And if they leave and come back again, they come back in the federal court. They return as a common high priest of the religion of Baal, and under the protection of the ecclesiastical laws of canon law. They are treated as an ordinary, so they're basically sitting there as a representative of the Curia. It's as if you're in front of the Pope, who they think is in charge of everything. It's a very serious thing for them now, and if they make a mistake at the third level, they lose the ability to be a judge forever. It's the last chance for them to get one over you. It's only at that point that the claim of sovereignty of being a living flesh being, what sovereignty between only oneself and God, can be used. At no other point does it have any remedy in Court 1 or Court 2. So really what's happening with sovereignty is I believe sovereignty is a genuine remedy, but only in the rarest of occurrences, against the priest of Baal, of Satan. But other than that, sovereignty AMD using it in court as a claim upon which to stand, has turned out to be a terrible distraction for people, who often uses their claim way too early in Court 1 or Court 2, when it is not the proper claim to seek remedy from. When a judge runs out of his courtroom, it's not something to be laughing at. It's not funny. It's not a personal battle between you and him. He's leaving to come back and to reestablish his honor, because he doesn't want to give you remedy. AMD, he cannot cast Knights of Malta evil curses upon you if he is in dishonor. So in actuality, just reload. AMD came back in Wath. This big guns of trickery. He's leaving to come back and turn this into a brand new court to get one over on you. Issue a third of prison, or at least as he knew debt, which they will sell as an bond on the open market for the present value of future payments, which they will charge to your SDKV trust account of your straw man. 3 of 6. 440 Ecclesiastical Notice of Dishonor. Understanding Bill of Sale Clearing Dishonor Harm Self-Educator. 1907. digital.lib.eq/19701. Estate man or woman is legally dead. Register of Vital Statistics. This department issues you birth certificate and declares the baby dead. Because the baby does not contact them to let them know otherwise, so it is assumed they are dead, and the state now can manage their estate as a trust, unless there's a notice of protest in blue birth certificate. Color blue. This is a notice of protest. That is why the birth certificate is not issued immediately with a live birth record. It's issued sometime after. So what they're doing is saying, we issued a notice of protest and didn't hear from the baby for 7 years. So the lawsuit speaking declared the baby is dead, and now he can manage the trust of that dead person. Their state decay v trust. That means the trust is lawful, and any lien placed against the trust is lawful until you dispute it. And then any money that is created from the maritime lien that is approved becomes monetized maritime bills of exchange that can be issued. These are unlike agricultural bills of exchange, maritime bills of exchange, which we call commercial, a maritime bill of exchange, because the lien makes the acceptor already accept the lien once monetized instantly. The ecclesiastical nature of the maritime lien means that the bill of exchange cannot be refused. It is actually a common dishonor and a criminal act to refuse the maritime bill of exchange under their system. We know them as U.S. Federal Reserve notes. They are more powerful than gold. You cannot haggle maritime bills of sale. You must accept them on face value. You can haggle on gold, but not on maritime bills of sale. And if the gold standard, the reason they got rid of the gold standard is because maritime bills of exchange are far, far better, and far more are useful than gold. They are guaranteed by the lien, the trustee of the bankruptcy. So every country was bankrupt in 1933. The business was found with $1.3 trillion worth of gold. They say it was Swiss gold francs. AMD was in plain sight, but the Swiss have never minted $1.6 trillion worth of Swiss gold francs ever. They're saying that a private store of the Vatican, which is the largest private store of gold in the world, underwrites the business. The Vatican says that the gold came together from England, Germany, and other places, who actually never had the gold historically. Lies, lies, lies. The business was brought into being by a group of private shareholders that have a direct tie into the Vatican and remain the shareholders of the business today. The shareholders are the Knights of Malta. The Knights of Malta is an order of the Catholic Church. The order accepts the Protestants and Catholics and Jews and even Muslims, and every head of state that comes on board becomes a Knight of Malta. Every FBI director has been a Knight of Malta. Who is CIA director has been a Knight of Malta. Every treasurer has been a Knight of Malta. Every U.S. president since Roosevelt has been a Knight of Malta. The goal of the Vatican was just a ruse to create the bankruptcy of the United States. Then what the business did is put the reserve banks in place as the trustees of the bankruptcy of the United States of America Incorporated. So the liens are held by the trustees, which are the Federal Reserve banks. So the Federal Reserve is the trustee of multiple times bankrupted corporations of the United States of America. Now every time there's a new bankruptcy, they roll the previous bankrupt corporation under a new fresh company, a new fresh corporation. So think of it as an onion. Every time they do that, it makes it harder to get out of bankruptcy, because if you're under multiple bankruptcies, you have to clear the first and the second and third. It's like digging a deeper hole. So in the case of America, it's been bankrupt 4 or 5 times. So we are buried 5 times deep into their corporation. Every time, what they are doing is just a giant curse, and it's also being managed by the trustees, those being the Federal Reserve banks of each country. The Federal Reserve of Canada would be the trustee of Canada. Canada is a trust. So what you find is there is a reserve bank is treated as a branch of the Federal Reserve. Mind your words in court. When you walk into court, you establish yourself as a living being who's saying, Your Honor, I am a living being. The flesh lives, the blood flows, and I ask humbly for remedy. The judge may run out to reestablish his honor, and come back into the court, which will immediately transform into a maritime court from being a court about our society. And then he'll continue as though nothing happened. You have to reestablish again. Your Honor, I wish to restate. You know, I am a living being. The flesh lives, the blood flows, and I humbly ask for cure and maintenance. Because this is a maritime court now, and if it's a federal court and he really wants to get you, he'll run back out and come back in for 3rd time and final time. You can't do it anymore, and you say, Your Honor, I wish to reestablish that I'm a living being. The flesh lives, the blood flows, and we are sovereign, and nothing stands between myself and the divine. And because the judge has now established his position as a priest under canon law, that's it. It's over. Send them an ecclesiastical notice of dishonor, and to disempower their entire sham assumption that they are above all men, and rule as an ecclesiastical court over you as a slave. That is dead, since you didn't dispute it within 7 years of your birth date.